Good morning, students. Okay, I'm going to take class for the 6th standard and the subject is science, and this is the third chapter for 6th standard. Okay, in science this is the third chapter. In the previous class we have learnt about what are the fibers and which are the different types of fibers that is available, that is natural, synthetic or mixed fibers. Natural fibers that are occur naturally, okay, from the animals and the plants. Natural synthetic fibers are the human made fibers with the help of the some of the chemicals which are available from the petroleum. Okay, in the natural fibers we have learnt about the cotton and how the cotton has been cultivated and how the cotton is available, and also the uses of cotton. In this class we are going to learn about the from fiber to fabric, from the raw fiber to how it is formed to fabrics. From fiber to fabric, how the cotton fiber is turned to fabric. Ginning. In this first process is ginning, how the fiber is converted to fabric. In that first is ginning. Ginning is the process of separating cloths fibers from their seeds. It was traditionally done by hands using steel combs. Okay, these days a machine called roller gin is used for ginning. Ginning is the process what? It is the process of separating the cotton fiber from the seeds. In cotton cotton balls, in the plant you get the cotton balls. No, in the cotton balls there are some of the seeds which are present, which are surrounded by the fibers of a cotton. Okay, these seeds are separated from the cotton by the use of a steel combs. It was traditionally done by hands using steel combs. Okay, before in the earlier what they used to do, they used to separate the cotton seeds and the cotton fiber from the use of a combs like structure which is made up of a steel. Okay, these days a machine called ginning, roller gin is used for ginning. Nowadays they are using the machine for ginning. The machine name is what? Roller gin. You can see now this is the picture of a roller gin which separates the cotton and the cotton seeds. First process is ginning. Next, second process is spinning. Second process is spinning. It is the process of changing fiber into yarn. Spinning draws out short fibers from the cotton wool and twists them together into a long continuous thread called yarn. Hand spindle or takli and charka are two hand operated device used for spinning. In rural areas, people still use charka for making thread or yarn from the cotton. Spinning of yarn on a large scale is done by spinning machine. What is the second step of spinning? What is this mean? There are the small fibers which are present. Okay, after ginning, the small threads are collaborated each other and they will form a long thread. Okay, they are called what? Yarn. Yarn means you have seen a thread bundle, no? Okay, which they rolled. Okay, that is called what? Yarn. First from the fiber to they will form the yarn. Now before in earlier days what they used to do, they used to spin the thread by using the charaka. You have seen the Gandhiji's picture, no? Some of the charakas like structure. Okay, it will be in the circle in shape, and here, and it is here, and there will be a stand. Okay, and here it will be a something, and here it will be some of the handle. Okay, this is the way how they used to spin. This is the machine you have seen in so many pictures also you have seen, and also in the picture of Gandhiji also you have seen the charaka. No, this is the picture of charaka. By using that they used to spin they used to form the thread by the fiber of a cotton. But nowadays they have to use the spinning machine. Okay, you can see in the picture. This is the spinning machine. This is the takli. This is the old process of making the yarn. Do you know Mahatma Gandhi, the father of our nation, popularized the use of charaka? He wore only khadi cloths woven from the yarn that he himself spun and on a charaka. During the independence movement, he encouraged people to wear khadi cloths made of hand-spun yarn and boycotted the imported cloths made in the textile mills of Britain. To popularize the use of khadi, the government of India constituted Khadi and Village Industries Commission in 1956. In this picture also you can see now, here the Gandhiji is our father of our nation. He used to spun their own cloth. He used to wear only the khadi cloths. So he used to prepare their own yarn and he used to spin their own cloth. In the independence movement also he has popularized the use of the khadi because he boycotted the Britain cloths which were manufactured in the textile industries. Okay, for the support of this khadi, they have also started the one commission called what? Khadi and Village Industry Commission in 1956 itself. This is the second process of forming the fiber. First is ginning, second is spinning, third is weaving. Third is weaving. It is the process of converting yarn into cloths. The process of arranging two sets of yarns together to make a fabric with the help of a hand loom or power loom is called weaving. Weavers weaving on a small scale use hand looms. On a large scale, cotton fabrics are made by big machines that run on electricity. These machines are called power looms. Okay, weaving machines we have seen so many. In library also we can see this weaving machines. Okay, this is the what is meant by weaving is they are arranging the two threads into crisscross method to form a cloth. Means some of the threads are arranged in the horizontal and some of the threads are arranged in the vertical to form a cloth, to form a fabric with the help of the hand loom. Okay, in small quantity they used to weave with the hands itself. In large quantity they used to use the power looms. Okay, by using the electricity these machines will run. Okay, they are called what? Power looms. To understand weaving, let us do the following activity. Here they have given the activity to make the weaving pattern from paper. Things needed: 3 sheets of stiff paper of different colors, a scale and a pair of scissors. To form to understand the weaving, we have to take the 3 sheets of little bit thick it should be, and a scale and a pair of scissors. Method: cut a square piece of 30 centimeters from each paper. Okay, they have shown me this sheet. First take the square, cut the paper into square shape. It should be 30 centimeters. Take one square and fold it into half. Okay, take one square and fold it into half. Here in this picture they have done here. Draw a pencil line across the end opposites of the fold about 1 inch from the edge. Make a series of cuts 1 inch apart from the folded edge. So this line cuts strips of paper 1 inch apart from the other colored square papers. Take a strip and weave it alternately over and under the strip in the first sheet. Weave the remaining strips on one by one through the cuts in the sheet of paper. We obtain this pattern after using all the strips. In the same way, 2 sheets of the yarn are woven to make a fabric. The yarn are much thinner than the paper strip. This is how we can do the, here they have shown, see they are arranged the cutted papers into alternative. Okay, by this in the same way the yarn are also arranged to form a fabric. this is also they have given here how you can prepare a own fabric, from fiber to fabric in your home itself. Here also they have given some activity. You do it and learn it and do it that one. Okay. Next come for the jute. Okay. In this forming from fabric to fiber to fabric in the cotton is there are 3 steps, that is ginning, spinning and weaving. Ginning is forming the from plants cotton to only a cotton, that is yarn, sorry, fiber. Okay, there are ginning is separating of seeds from the fiber. Next is spinning. The ginning, after ginning the cotton, by using that you have to form the yarns, small thread. Okay, and next is weaving. Weaving means you have to weave the cloths by weave the cloths by the use of the hand or a weaving machine, or else by the power loom which runs on the electricity. Okay, this is about the from fiber to fabric in cotton. Next come for the jute. Jute is a long, soft, shiny fiber obtained from the stems of the jute plant. Okay, jute is a long and soft, shiny fiber that is obtained from the stems of a jute plant. It is obtained from where? It is obtained from the jute plant, the stem of a jute plant. It is also called golden fiber. Jute is biodegradable, durable and strong in our country. Okay, sorry. This jute is biodegradable, means it can mix easily with the decompose easily in the soil. Okay, and it is also durable. It comes very long time and it is also a strong. In our country, jute is cultivated in West Bengal. In our country, where the jute is cultivated in West Bengal, Assam and Bihar, in the low-lying areas around the river Ganga and river Brahmaputra. It needs a well-drained, fertile soil like alluvial soil. Okay, where it grows, in which soil it will grow, cotton will grow in black soil. In the same way, jute will grow in the alluvial soil. They should want a very fertile land. It will mostly grows in the areas around the river Ganga and the river Brahmaputra, because the supply of water is also more well there. Jute cultivation needs a hot and humid climate and high rainfall during the growing period. Okay, the jute cultivation needs very hot temperature and humid climate, and along with that, while growing, it needs a heavy rainfall also. Okay, do you know India is the largest producer of jute products in the world, followed by Bangladesh. About 85% of the world's jute cultivation is concentrated in the Sundarban Delta in India and Bangladesh. Okay, 85% of the jute is grown in India and Bangladesh. It is mainly concentrated in the area of the Sundarban Deltas. Okay, in West Bengal. Next is how the cultivation of jute is done. The seeds are sown in March or April. It is a rainy season crop. Okay, the seeds are sown in the soil in the month of the March or April. Jute plant grows 6 to 12 feet in height. Okay, how much height it may be? 6 to 12 feet. It bears yellow flowers. The plants are cut during the flowering stage. Okay, it gives the yellow flowers. While blooming the flowers, they will cut the plants. It is because good quality jute is obtained from its young stem. The old stem becomes very hard and it is difficult to remove fiber from it. Okay, while it was blooming, when it was young only, they will cut the tree, because when it has become old, the stem of the plant will become hard and it is very difficult to remove the jute from the stem, fibers from the gem. After harvesting, the stalks of the plants are tied into bundles and left in a stagnant water pond for about 20 days. Okay, after cutting the stems of the plant, what they will do? They used to make the bundles and they used to put that bundles in this stagnant, means stained water, in the ponds. Okay, it may be natural ponds or it may be artificial ponds. After bacteria grow in stagnant water. The sticky matter that holds the fiber to the inner part of the stem is eaten away by bacteria. This process is called retting. Okay, bacteria grow in the stagnant water, in the state water. Inside the bundles, the bacteria will grow, and the inner part of the stem is eaten by the bacteria, and the outer part of the stem. This process is called what? Retting. When the stems root, the fibers are separated by hands. When the stems of the plant has been rooted, means when rooted means ketogiradu. Okay, they are separated by the hands. The fibers so obtained are dried in the sun and tied into small bundles. Okay. After the stems root, the fibers are separated by hands. They will separate the fibers by the help of the hands, and they will dry those stems in the sun and tied into a small bundles. These bundles are sent to the mills. After tying the bundles, they will send to the mills. Okay. Yes, they are separating the fibers of the fibers of the jute in water. Okay, they are then spun and woven into textiles at the mills. After that, they used to spun and form the fiber in the mills itself. And next, what are the uses of fiber? Jute is one of the most important fiber after cotton. After using the cotton, jute is also a very important fiber. It is used for making gunny bags and or sacks. Okay, gunny bags here now. You can see that gunny bags for carrying 50 kg of rice, wheat. Okay, they will put in the gunny bags itself, because they are very heavy and they are very strong to hold the weight. High quality jute is woven into curtains, carpets, chair coverings, and packing of linoleum. Okay, very high quality jute. What they will use to make the curtains, carpets, chair coverings, and packing for linoleum. Shopping bags, table mats, jute baskets, and jewelry are also made up of jute. Okay, down they have given the jute bags and the jute baskets, and they will make the shopping bags also. Jute bags are also extensively used in packing cereals like wheat, jawar, and maize. Okay, these bags are gunny bags, we will say. No, they are also used to pack the cereals like wheat, jawar, and maize also. Okay, this jute and cotton is available from the plants. Next, we go for some other useful fibers. Okay, rather than plants which will give the fibers, that is silk and wool will get from the animals. Wool will get from the sheep, and silk will get from the cocoon. Wool is obtained from the fleece of the sheep or goats. Removing the fleece from the sheep is called shearing. After shearing, the wool is cleaned and then combed by a machine. Thereafter, the wool is spun into a fiber that are then knitted to make woolen cloths, either by hand or by machine. Okay, wool is obtained from the fleece, that is the hairs or the sheep. Okay, they will remove the fleece from the sheep. Okay, it's called what? Shearing. Okay, this is the sheep. Above the sheep, you can see the wool now. That separating of the goat, sheep, and the fleece is called what? Shearing. After shearing, it has been cleaned and then combed by a machine. Thereafter, the wool is spun into a fiber that are then knitted to make a woolen cloths. Okay, either by hand or by the machine. With the help of the machine, or else with the help of the hand, they will use to make the woolen cloths. Next is silk. Silk was first developed in China. Okay, silk was first where it has been developed. It was developed in China. It obtained from the cocoon of the silkworm. It has been come from the cocoon of a silkworm. Each silkworm spins a thread up to 800 meters long to make a cocoon. Okay, how much it forms the thread, that is each cocoon will make a 800 meters of the cocoon, to form a cocoon. The cocoon is boiled in water to kill the worms. Okay, they will boil that cocoon to kill the worms in that. It is then unwound to get the silk fiber. The rearing of silkworms for production of silk is called what? Sericulture. The rearing of silkworms is called what? Sericulture. Okay, multiple choice question they have here. The process of separating cotton fiber from the seeds is called what? Separating of cotton fiber from the seeds. Spinning, ginning, weaving or wearing. I said no, that is the first step, which is that ginning. Ginning process only they will separate the fiber and the seeds. The process of changing fiber into yarn is called what? Spinning, weaving, ginning or knitting. The process of changing fiber into yarn is what? Spinning. Next is about the history of a clothing material, how the cloth has been formed. The early humans did not know how much about cloths. In the early human beings, they don't know about the cloth itself. They used the barks of a tree and large leaves to cover themselves. As seen here, they used to use the barks of a tree and also the leaves, and along with that, they used to wear the animal skin for the cover their body. Later, they started using animal skin for clothing. They wore animal skins and wrapped fur about their bodies to keep themselves warm during winter. Okay, why they used to wear the animal skins? Because to keep themselves warm in the winter season. When people began to settle in agricultural communities, they learned to weave twigs and grass into mats and baskets. Okay, when they settled down in some place and started the villages to form the agricultural communities. Okay, on that time they used to weave the twigs means small branches of a tree, and grass into mats and basket. Later, human developed the technique for spinning and weaving cloth from the fluffy substances of the cotton plant. Later on, they learned the technique of forming the cloth with the help of the fluffy techniques. The clothing was invented thousands of years ago. Okay, when it was started so many thousands of years ago in ancient Egypt. Cotton and flax plants were cultivated near the river Nile and used for making fabrics. Okay, in the basins of river Nile, they used to cultivate the cotton plant and also the flax plants. In India, use of cotton spread around 3000 BCE. When in India they started using cotton, that is 3000 BCE. In China, silkworms were domesticated to produce silk fiber. Okay, in China they used the silk to domesticate the fiber. The domestication of silkworm in China started around 3000 BCE also. The fiber was then spun into threads that were woven to make a silk cloth. The fiber of this spun into threads. Okay, spun of cocoon. The threads which are obtained from the cocoon, they are called what? Spun into threads, and then they woven them to form a silk cloth. Earlier stitching was not known. Women used to wear sari and men used to wear dhoti. Okay, before they don't know to stitch the cloth. So what they did? They used the saris to wear, and also men used to wear dhotis. These clothes were not stitched. They were just wrapped around the body. Even today, sari, dhoti and lungi are used as unstitched cloths. Even today also we are using the sari, dhotis, so they are unstitched cloths. With the invention of these sieving needles, people started stitching fibers to make cloths. Okay, after the invention of these sieving needles, they started stitching the fibers to make the cloths. Today, various stitched cloths such as jeans, shirts, suits, shorts and trousers are very popular. At present, there is a large variety of fabrics to choose from. Okay, before they have only this. Okay, nowadays we have so many different types of fabrics according to our choice. We can select anyone. Before, they don't know about anything about the stitching and about the cloths. Okay, children, this completes your third chapter, fiber to fabric. Okay, notes I will send in WhatsApp. Okay, first I will send first two lessons, first lesson and second lesson. After completing that, you will send me message, and then I will send the third lesson question answers. Okay, children. If you have doubts regarding this lesson, please call me or else you can text me. Thank you, children.